Everyone, I still believe it's afternoon. It's just a little bit chilly and a little bit darker than we probably thought it would be today. But I want to say thank you all for being here. Good evening, and thank you for joining us in person, as well as those who are watching online for our December 8th Charlotte City Council business meeting. So this is the first meeting with the new council. So I'd like to give a warm welcome to the new members and also thank all council members for their dedication to public service, especially as we begin our new term. I'm looking forward to all we will accomplish for this community. So let's begin with introductions around the dais, starting with our city attorney. Our city clerk. I'm sorry, where's our city clerk? Right here. Right here. Our city clerk.
Stephanie Kelly, City Clerk.
Good evening, Andrea Leslie White, City Attorney.
Good evening, Dimple Ajmer, at large.
Good evening, I'm Victoria Watlington, and I have the pleasure of serving you as a member at large.
Joy Mayo, District 3.
Dante Anderson, District 1.
Marcus Jones, City Manager.
Vi Lyles, Mayor.
Good evening, everyone. James Mitchell, Mayor Pro Tem.
Kimberly Owens, District 6.
Malcolm Graham, District 2.
Ed Driggs, District 7.
Good evening, Luana Mayfield, Council Member at Large.
Good evening, J.D. Masueta Arias, District 5.
Good evening, I'm Renee Johnson, and I'm honored to serve District 4.
We begin our meetings with an invocation, which is an expression for inspiration, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. This invocation is intended to solemnize our proceedings. We understand and celebrate the religious diversity in our community, including those without a religious faith. Tonight, I would like to ask Councilmember Mayfield to give our invocation, and at the end of the invocation, we will all, if you choose to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please do so. Ms. Mayfield.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and for those who choose to, please join me as I stand. Precious Lord, please give us guidance in this meeting, because a lack of guidance causes a nation to fall. But victory is won through many advisors. Lord, let us not be misguided in this meeting, so that we do not lead to decisions that produce ineffective results. I pray that you direct our steps so that this meeting can achieve our kingdom's aim. We place you at the center of all of this. Amen.
Amen.
All right, thank you.
Pledge
I
allegiance.
pledge allegiance to the flag of the
United States of America,
And to the republic
for which it stands,
one
nation, under God,
indivisible, with liberty
and justice for all.
Okay, the next item on our agenda is our consent agenda, and so I wanted to ask Ms. Marie if you have any of the remarks or anything that we need to do in addressing our consent agenda.
Thank you, and good evening. And I've had a chance to speak to many of you, and I didn't know if there was any other questions at this time.
Are there any questions for the staff? All right, JD, please.
Thanks, Marie, and thanks for talking to me earlier. I have a question on items 24, 25, 27, and 28, which are all multi-year contracts for CATS. Can you please confirm that these contracts will be transferred over to the new authority once it is fully established and no longer under the City of Charlotte?
Yes, sir. And as you stated, they are definitely transferable. These new ones have assignability clauses in them. So when it's time, they will move over to the MPTA. Right now, CATS is still under your authority, and when it moves out to its own organization, that's when these transitions will occur. But there's contracts that have to be in place now. That's why you're still approving them.
Thank you. And on a related note, item 26, Scaly Park Station drainage repairs. It says the explanation section states that the project is expected to be completed by the end of December 2025. Is that still accurate?
No, sir, it's actually March 2026, and that's been corrected on the agenda. Thank you.
Thank you, Marie.
All right. Any other questions or comments on the consent agenda? Hearing none.
Ms. Mayfield.
I'm sorry, Ms. Mayfield, sorry.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I have questions for number 19 and 34.
19 and 34.
Yes, 19 thermal hydrolysis process design contract amendment. Marie, we did have a chance to discuss it earlier, but can you give me an update as to this amendment for the McAlpine Creek wastewater treatment plant?
Yes, ma'am, and thank you. This amendment was required because once they got into the design phase and really started looking at it, they realized that part of the processing equipment had reached end of life and needed to be replaced, especially since the speed is going to be going up with this new design improvements.
Thank you very much. Also, for number 34, the airport west ramp dual taxi lanes change order. This is amendment number 5 on this particular contract, which now creates a grand total of $23,592,462.22. Help me understand. Mainly, I want to ensure that there is a plan for future projects at the airport to make sure that we're aligning the actual contract to the work that is going to be needed so that we can try to reduce multiple amendments.
Yes, ma'am, and thank you. They definitely do try to work towards that. This particular one was a result of some FAA requirement changes, and they did try to bid this scope out, and they got no bids, and it's probably because it was very specialized work, and that's why they went ahead with this contractor that was already in place that could do the work. But yes,
Thank
ma'am.
you, because I wanted to make sure that community, if they took the time to read it, they also were aware that this was triggered by some FAA standards
Yes, ma'am.
that we were not aware of when we initially approved the original contract. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
All right, thank you. Are there any other questions for the consent agenda? Hearing none, let's see, we need to have a motion, please, with the motion that we would have with items 39 and 42 were pulled from the agenda, I believe, and then also item 40. And so with those questions from the council at the dais, may I have a motion to exclude those items and approve items 12 through 38 and item 41 with the exception of when we voted on those separately.
So moved.
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion, we accept consent agenda items 12 through 38.
All right, we have a
Second.
motion and a second.
Excuse me, and 41.
And 41.
I'm sorry.
Second.
Thank
Mayor,
you.
question. You
Ms.
mentioned number 40. Was number 40 settled?
No, ma'am, that one's deferred till January,
there
so
is
it
a
will
deferral.
come back
It
Thank
was,
you.
yeah, it was a
eventually
deferral.
unless it's settled by
Right.
then.
Okay,
you.
so we have a motion on the floor. All in favor, please raise your hands. Anyone oppose? Anyone oppose? Ms. Johnson, did you have your hand up?
No.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. I just didn't see it. Thank you. All right, our next, now that we'll start off with moving to awards and recognitions portion of our agenda. We have some special guests that we have here this evening, and I'd like to turn it over to Councilmember Graham to introduce them.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Tonight is a proud moment for the city and especially for the Beatties Ford Road corridor that I am honored to represent. It is my privilege to welcome the 2025 CIAA football champions, the Johnson C. Smith University Golden Bills, to the chamber, as well as the Lovell Bills, our university cheerleaders. Johnson C. Smith has won this championship for the first time in 56 years. So they said a picture or a video is worth 1,000 words, so let's watch a video for about a minute and 47 seconds.
Winner takes all. They love this start. Durham throwing towards the back shoulder. Beautiful. Touchdown. Johnson C. Smith. Reginald Brickman. Durham on play action. Wide open man. Reggie Daniel strolls in for 6. Touchdown, Golden Bulls. Howard was the man that got his body up there. Now Durham firing. Proctor. Yes, sir. Touchdown, Johnson C. Smith. That, James Hadnot, is how you connect. 13. On play action, Proctor is the intended target, and another snag as he's still running. Oh, DeAndre Proctor into the end zone. Biggie, 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 can't you see? Hypnotizes the dead. Notorious B.I.G. will be proud, Jake. From the 3, Durham takes off and scrolls in. Touchdown, Johnson C. Smith, as Calvin Durham slices in for 6. Number 1 on his jersey, number 1 in their hearts.
For me, this moment is personable. My wife, Kim, and I are both graduates of Johnson C. Smith University, and I have the honor of serving on the university board of visitors. So when the Golden Bulls brought home the championship, it lifted not just the university, but an entire community. The team didn't just win, they made history. CIAA champions defeated the 2-time defending champions, Virginia Union. The score of that game was 45-21. Their first championship appearance since 1972, a national ranking of 11th in the country in Division II, their first national playoff appearance in school history, and the most wins in school history, 10 victories. Multiple All-CIAA players and several pro prospects, and the stat that really means the most to a lot of people on the university is the GPA, a collective team GPA of 3.16 or 3.2. None of this would be possible without the leadership of Coach Maurice Flowers, now a 2-time CIAA Coach of the Year, has rebuilt this program through vision, discipline, and belief. Coach, thank you for leading these young men and restoring pride throughout the Golden Bill Nations. Sports have a unique power. They bring communities together. When Johnson C. Smith won, you can feel the joy across Charlotte through alumni celebrated, students celebrated, neighborhoods celebrated. Victories like this remind us that unity is one of the greatest strengths, and this championship reinforces something I've said often. Beatties Ford Road is full of promise, full of progress, and full of hope. When this team achieved reflects the strength, talent, and resilience of the entire historic West End. It shows what is possible when opportunity, leadership, and hard work come together. So to the players, coaches, and staff, congratulations. You have made your university proud, your alumni proud, and your city proud. Thank you for giving us a moment that will be remembered for generations to come. We have 2 speakers, Madam Mayor. One, the president of the university, and then we'll invite Coach Maurice Flowers to come down to the podium. Roll the video, please.
Hi, everyone. I am Valerie Kinlock, the 15th president of Johnson C. Smith University right here in Charlotte, North Carolina, and a graduate of the class of 1996. I am so excited that City Council, at the suggestion of Councilman and alum of the university, Malcolm Graham, invited our football program to participate in this special occasion. I am so sorry that I am unavailable to be there because right now I'm at a conference in Nashville. I'd rather be there with you. But this is what I want to say. We are the 2025 CIAA football champions, and we have the 2-time Coach of the Year, last year and this year, Maurice Flowers. I am thrilled for so many different reasons because it's not just about football. It's not just about an athletic program. It is about building the type of culture and climate where our young people can survive and thrive, where they can be nurtured, where they can see success, work towards success, and be successful themselves. So I want to thank Maurice Flowers, our head football coach, and someone who graduated from this university as well. I want to thank Athletic Director Denisha Hendricks. I want to thank all the members of City Council, including Malcolm Graham, and our mayor, Mayor Vi Laus. Most importantly, I want to thank our students. Because in this new era of excellence at JCSU, our students are helping to lead the way. Our students are on the football field, engaging in powerful athletic competition, but they're in the classroom with a high GPA for the entire team, over a 3.1. How could I not love that? So listen, as you know, we are the CIAA champions. And I've got to put my hat on to the side as I wait for my ring because of this. We are building a culture, a climate. We are building an entire community of people dedicated to what we're doing here at JCSU. And it starts within and on our campus. I could not be more excited to have Coach Flowers, our athletic director. I am excited by this opportunity. I want to thank you for having us. And from me to you, CIAA champions. So go Golden Bows. I'll see you when I get back. Take care.
It's good to hear from our president by video, because during the game we have to hear from her on the sideline if you all haven't seen. She's normally very close to us. We love her support. Thank you so much for having us here today. It's an honor and a privilege to be here. Want to thank you as just everything that you all do for the city of Charlotte. I'm very proud because I speak as a proud Charlottean. Randolph Middle School, East Mecklenburg High School, Johnson C. Smith University. And it does me just, it's an honor to be here with the coaching staff that we coach with, the young men that we lead, the alumni that we represent. When we bring young men and families on campus, we get to the football stadium and we say, there's your future. But we're not talking about the football field. If you haven't been to our football field at our stadium has the best view of the Charlotte skyline. And that's the future of our young men. We thank you for building this city to be one of the top cities in the United States. If you look at a lot of these young men, they're here because of our city. Our city is what can help us out-recruit many other people. And I want to thank you so much. Special thanks to Councilman Mitchell, Councilman Graham, for what you did earlier in the year and what you continue to do in support of our young men and our university. I want to say thank you so much, Mayor, for the MREI. You look no further than our football program at the benefits, and we thank you. Thank you for your support. I want to thank, again, our young men, because this opportunity to come here and be in front of you, I know it's going to be motivation to them, because we do have some young men that are pursuing some of the same careers that you all are leading right now. And I'll use that as a plug for them. These young men get up early. We practice at 6:30 to 8:30, so getting to work on time won't be a problem for these young men. And I'm happy to say that, yes, our combined GPA of a team of 130 plus young men is a 3.16. We're looking forward to the exams where we'll see where our GPA is now. But I'm so proud of them. I'm so proud of our coaches. And again, it's such a privilege to be the head coach of JCSU, to make history, not just for our university, but for our city. Thank you so much, and go Golden Bulls.
Last comment, Madam Mayor, is I just want to take special recognition to thank the Carolina Panthers and Todd up in the audience with Jet Pizza on Beatty's-Ford Road for providing pre-game meals for the team this afternoon. This is a Beatty's-Ford Road thing, and there's excellent on the quarter and more is to come. Thank you.
All right. Now, everybody in hand, ready? So now I know that you have a choice of staying here and watching us do things, or you might want to go someplace that's much more fun. So feel free to, I'm sorry.
May I?
Mayor, yes, please.
I can't let Councilman Graham go without hearing the chant. Give me the chant, man.
Oh, my God.
Y'all ready for it?
Come on, give me the...
JC. JC. JC.
That's what I'm talking about. Coach, if I may, is anyone here from the class of 1969, the first CIAA football champion? So, Mayor and Council, let me just tell you a fun fact. The head cheerleader of the class of 1969, the first CIAA football champion, served with us on City Council. Can you name that individual?
Alice Barber.
Carlini Ivory.
Kalina Ivory was the head cheerleader for the 1969 CIAA football champ from JCSU.
That's great.
That is great. So guys, remember those finals are coming up tomorrow. Get home and get those books out. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach.
All right.
Great job, man.
Okay. Yeah, that was really well done, Mr. Okay, Graham. So now we'll have a moment. Cheerleaders. Some time to get out.
Still say the championship, man. We'll talk about
You need to put Cynthia on the schedule.
Okay, so I don't know what competition's going to be going on here, but let's not go too far with it. All right, so you've still got some work to do. So now we're ready for our public forum. For the people, we have 6 people that are signed up to speak, and we'll begin with our very first, and each speaker will have 3 minutes. So the first person that we have is Mr. Cone. Mr. Cone, thank you.
Ready? Good to go?
Yes, please
Okay.
begin.
Thank you. Good evening. I'm here tonight to speak about 2 issues that I'm grateful to have the opportunity to talk about. I would like to talk about City Council Advisory Board members' current, both non-existent and deserved right to freedom of expression. I would also like to talk about the Treaty on the Prohibition of Nuclear Weapons. Regarding City Council Advisory Board members' current Code of Ethics, which was published last July by the City of Charlotte, it states essentially, quote, advisory board members should remember that their chief responsibility is to advocate, is to advise and not to advocate, particularly when that position of advocacy is contrary to council policy. All I have to say on this for now is that it seems in direct opposition to the right to freedom of expression, which is protected by the U.S. First Amendment. About the Treaty on the Prohibition of Nuclear Weapons, for the new council members, this is a treaty which is against nuclear weapons. The treaty is supported by many U.S. cities, including New York, Baltimore, Chapel Hill, Durham, and Carrboro, as well as 4 U.S. states and over half the world's countries. To put it simply, nuclear weapons all but guarantee that innocent lives will be taken, and there is simply no excuse for this. Mayor Lyles, I continue to await the decision on the council on this policy, which you assured me last June I would receive. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Our next speaker is Craig Reynolds. Craig Reynolds. All right. Our next speaker is Matthew Panic. Yes, you have 3 minutes.
Great, thank you. Good evening, Mayor Lyles, Mayor Pro Tem Mitchell, members of council. My name is Matt Panic. I'm the Chief Advocacy Officer at the Charlotte Regional Business Alliance. First, I just want to congratulate all of you on your success and being seated last week, and looking forward to working with you in the year to come. I have worked with many of you over the years, most recently on the transportation referendum that voters approved this past November. From the members of the Alliance and the business community at large, I do just want to say thank you. It was a big lift, a big effort from many in the community, many on this dais. So thank you again for your work there. We are looking forward to the investments to be made in the community throughout the city and throughout the region. And to the new members of council, council members Mayo, Mazara Arias, and Kimberly Owens, looking forward to meeting you and working with you as well. I don't really want to take too much time tonight, but I do just want to lay out a few of the priorities of the Alliance and of the business community for 2026. And again, looking forward to working with you on these shared priorities. Certainly, getting the MPTA up and running is something that we're looking forward to, and the work ahead on transportation and transit is a key priority for the Alliance and the business community. I'm also supporting additional key infrastructure such as Charlotte Douglas International Airport, which all of you know is the economic engine, not only for the city, but the region and the state as well. And then collaborating on solutions for housing. We have 157 people moving to the region every single day, and that's not slowing down. So looking forward to partnering with you on ways to make sure there's affordable housing available throughout the city. Advocating for public safety is something that we want to have a focus on as well. Our members throughout the city and the region want to make sure this continues to be a desirable place to live and a safe city for everyone. And then working on childcare issues. As we think about workforce, childcare continues to be a struggle for many trying to enter the workforce, trying to stay in the workforce. And then on workforce, making sure we're supporting our K through 12 and higher ed institutions that really are the key to our talent pipeline. All of these things are achievable. We've shown time and again, working with the city, working with all of you, we can get all of these things done. So again, looking forward to working with you in 2026, and rely on us as a partner and resource. We're here to help, and we have a lot of shared priorities, and we're looking forward to what's ahead. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Our next speaker is Rob Nunfeld.
Good evening. I'm Rob Nanfelt. I'm the Executive Director of the Real Estate and Building Industry Coalition. For those of you who are not aware, REBIC was founded back in the 80s, formalized in the 90s, and we've been around ever since. We operate in Mecklenburg, Iredell, Cabarrus, Gaston, and Union counties. And our members are typically realtors, builders, commercial developers, commercial brokers, anybody in the real estate realm. This evening, I just wanted to, first of all, thank you for taking the leap and running for political office. I know it's difficult, especially these days. We're so polarized. So thanks for doing that, and congratulations on your re-election or election in some cases. Affordable housing is one topic that's near and dear to our hearts. The situation began several years ago when we had intense growth begin here in Charlotte. Over the last 6 years, if you're not aware, every year the UNC Charlotte does the real estate state of housing study. It came out again in November, it comes out annually. When we started that 6 years ago, a family of four that was earning roughly $75,000 a year could afford the median sales price home. 6 years later, that number has doubled. It's almost $150,000 for a family of four to afford the median sales price home. That is a pretty significant change in a pretty short period of time. So we would like to explore opportunities to try to help that here in Charlotte and throughout the region. Some things that have been looked at in terms of housing opportunities, ADUs, accessory dwelling units. That's one way to kind of fit in a lower cost housing. We've also talked about perhaps the homestead exemption should be expanded. That is the tax break for folks that have been in their house for a really long time and elderly. Right now, there is an exemption on the books, but maybe that should be expanded. We ought to take a look at that. That also helps with some of the displacement issues we've been challenged with and are frankly going to be talking about over the next few years. So I just stand here to effectively level set for the year, let you know who I am. I hope to come out and visit with each of you in the next, maybe not this month, maybe next month. We'll give you all a little break for the holidays, but appreciate your time and look forward to being a resource for you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So our next speaker, I'm going to ask if I can spell out the name, is Zihuiquiu on transit safety. Thank you. Thank you for allowing me to do that.
Good evening, council members. My name is Zihui, and I'm a third-year student at UNC Charlotte. I'm here today to speak about recent instances of violence in our city and their implications on our community. I'm an EMT first responder and a research assistant in an NIH-funded lab at UNC Charlotte that researches bystander intervention. For some context, I would like to tell you about the murder of Kitty Genovese. While walking home from work, she was stabbed twice and raped by Winston Mosley. This occurred on a public street, all while Kitty screamed for help. This case is notable because police later reported that as many as 37 people witnessed this incident and no one came to her aid as she died. This 1964 landmark case led to the creation of the bystander intervention field. I tell you this so that you may understand why, as social psychologists, the recent light rail murder of Irina Zarutska, where bystanders similarly did not help, are concerning to us. And as a first responder, I can't help but wonder whether the outcome of this stabbing could have been different if bystander intervention had occurred. Researchers at UNC Charlotte's Violence Prevention Center have the expertise and skills to tangibly assist the city and the Charlotte area transit system in developing a comprehensive violence prevention program. So I'm speaking today to request that you use any connections you may have to urge the city's transportation systems to work with us in prioritizing evidence-based violence prevention and bystander intervention programming as part of the city's public safety efforts. People are wired to freeze in emergency situations. So this isn't a failure of the individual person, it's the city's failure to properly prepare its individuals and build a community that is intolerant of violence. While increasing security presence is a natural start to addressing public safety, it's only a superficial solution, one that has yet to demonstrate efficacy. As just last Friday, Charlotte experienced another stabbing on the very same train system that killed Irina. Evidently, we need a better way to buy the city time so that we may address the underlying systematic problems of mental health and housing. I see hope for change in a community-centered approach because videos of people coming to the aid of others during recent CBP operations in Charlotte prove that we are a community that intensely cares for each other. We just need the city to meet us there. The burden of violent crime should not have to fall on bystanders who likely become traumatized by these incidents. But the deafening lack of attention given to Irina Zarutska in the released train video demonstrates a need for action. The burden of violent crimes, therefore, falls on our city's government to support a community that does not normalize violence. So let us help you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much for coming down today. I really appreciate the passion and the expertise that you're giving us from our university. I want you to know that everyone deserves to feel safe in Charlotte, and that remains to be this council's priority. We want to improve safety. We've increased police presence. We've strengthened everything, but you have brought us things to think about, experiences that may be able to do something. So I really want to say that as much as we've been doing, last week, for example, CMPD, along with multiple local and state law enforcement agencies, launched an operation of Safe Season, where people were working together, as you talked about, how do we get to frame that together? So I really want you to know we're really working hard on it. And while some of these public safety matters fall outside of what we do, we all know that it matters for everyone that lives in our city. And so I hope that you will have an opportunity to meet and our new police chief, Steve Patterson, has been actively engaged in how do we do better and how do we do more. And we all understand that. I think sometimes I look at you and I think you're really smart and you're going to help us along the way. So as much as possible, stay in touch with us. And as we continue this journey, we're going to get over it. We're going to make sure that people in our city understand that they can be here and be safe. So thank you very much for coming down today. Thank you.
Thank you.
I also want to say, would you connect with Sean, who will get all of the information that helps us stay in touch with you, because that makes a big difference. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I also want to say to the council that I've asked CATS to provide an update to council this week on the transit security plan as it has enacted over the past several months, so that we can all understand where we all are and where everything else is standing. So we'll look forward to that additional information this week. All right, thank you very much. All right, we now have one more speaker, Garland Green. Mr. Green, please come down. Thank you. We also have Tammy Brown.
Garland Green, I live in South Charlotte. Again, congratulations to Johnson C. Smith community for their tremendous achievement. Also, I want to tell JD, Jody, and Kimberly, congratulations on being elected. I want you to think about this, is you are elected, and this is for all of you, to represent your constituency, your people that put you in office. Mayor Lyles, about light rail safety. You addressed safety a little bit. You probably answered some of my questions. We've had 2 heinous crimes in the last 90 days. We had a death. We had a tragic stabbing. I'm anxious to learn what's really being done about all of that, more than just putting more security cameras out there. From my understanding from the media with this last event, the tragic stabbing, there was a confrontation. It was very loud. The person was drunken. He wanted to fight with somebody. And had we had somebody boots on the ground at that location, that incident probably never would have happened. So I'm asking you to think about boots on the ground. I know it's going to cost more money, but it will, in my opinion, resolve a lot of these situations. We have security here. We have security at airport. When you go to the mall, we have security. We have human being security, visible security. I think that makes a lot of difference. If you could help me, and maybe you can provide the information, or you can direct me to the person that can provide the information where I can follow this a little bit more, I'd be most appreciative.
Well, we appreciate that you choose to be a partner with us. I mean, what you've said, you certainly expressed it so well. We all know that we want to keep people safe. And I would say to you that it takes a lot of really real work to determine how we can be better and how we can do this. And it's been a very difficult time for our city. But I do believe that the people that live and choose to live, much like you, choose to live in Charlotte, you're participating to make it helpful for us. And we will get you that additional information. In fact, Sean Heath is coming down the steps now, and if you would be able to talk with her, we're going with Liz? Liz, So I'm going to ask Liz Babson to take an opportunity to speak with you so that you can get the additional information that you've asked for. And I think all of us on this council say thank you for being someone that cares enough to come down here to say we can do it differently and we can do it better. So thank you very much.
Let's work together to do something about it. I appreciate it.
Oh, we promise you we're going to do as much as we can. Liz, would you join him so that we can move forward with Mr. Green? We have, let's see, one more person that I think that the clerk has identified, that Carson Cone.
Yeah.
You've already spoken.
Tammy Brown.
Craig Reynolds.
No,
Craig
Tammy.
Reynolds spoken.
Tammy Brown.
Tammy Brock.
Yeah.
There he is, Tammy Brock. Thank you.
I came straight from work, so sorry.
Hey, it looks
I'm
like
not
you
better
it
dressed
looks
than-
like you have a great job. That's what it looks like.
Thank you for having me. My name is Tammy, and I thank you for, like I said, for having me. I am here this evening to stand up and speak for a part of our community that can't speak up for themselves, the trees. They silently perform so many things, and yet when any development happens, there's very little consideration for them. We are going to plant new ones, we hear. Well, I have lived at my house for the last 9 years and have been biking and walking past this one block of trees where at least eight very large specimens were there. Trees that gave shade to me and lowered the temperatures in the hot summer. Trees that provided cover for the birds, that filled the air with music and allowed me to have a nice walk, or I bike to work every day. Anyway, these trees that have towered over me and has taken decades to get to that size, they are now gone. They cannot just be replaced, but they have been torn down and ripped apart. I cannot save those trees. It's too late. I'm here to try and prevent other trees from getting cut down. I know that the City of Charlotte has stated that they care about the canopy of the trees that are in the city. But as I was heading to work and I was seeing these trees being demolished, I stopped and asked the guy that was doing it. And I said, why? Why was this happening? And he said, oh, I was just hired to do this, and pointed me to another person at the construction site. And they said, oh, well, you know, across the street, that's where the administration is. Maybe they can help you. And then the man from the field office came to the door after I pounded on the door for a little while, and said that the City of Charlotte actually caused this to happen. So that they made the trees come down because they accepted the plans of the development, and now they were just following those plans. So I'm coming to you, those that represent the City of Charlotte, and to say we need to protect our trees.
Thank you very much. We have a 3-minute
Oh,
time to speak. That's okay. I think we got it. I think we completely understand. And I'd like to ask Allison Craig, who works with us. She would be able to, I think, assist and continue the dialogue that you're having. Thank you very much. Thank you, Allison. So I believe that that is the end of our public forum. And so we will now move on to say for our public hearings, all right? So we're going to go to item 5. We're going to open the public hearing on the proposed annexation agreement with the town of Harrisburg. Madam Clerk, do we have any speakers?
Mayor.
We do not have any speakers.
I would have closed the public.
Second.
We have a motion to close the public hearing and a second.
Ordinance.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you, Mr. Driggs.
Close and adopt the ordinance.
All right, we have a motion to close and adopt the ordinance to approve the proposed annexation agreement between the City of Charlotte and the town of Harrisburg. Do I have a motion?
You do.
We have a motion. All right, thank you.
And a second.
And is there any comments or questions? Hearing none. Any comments or questions? Hearing none. All in favor, please raise your hand. All right, does anyone disagree with that decision? No, okay. All right, now we'll move into the business section of our agenda. It's for item 7. Is there a motion to approve? I'm sorry. So we're going to come back and start with approval of the purchase of property on Catherine Simmons Avenue, parcel identified number 075025009, comprising 3 existing single-family rental units at a cost of $465,000 for the purpose of providing affordable housing opportunities, and authorize the city manager or his designee to negotiate and execute any documents necessary to complete this transaction.
Move to approve A and B.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for approval of A and B. Is there any other comment?
Councilman Graham.
Mr. Graham.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I would be remiss to not speak on this item. This is more than just a purchase of property on Catherine Simmons Avenue. This is a part of a city-county collaboration, a strategy to begin to address some of the issues of homelessness, substance abuse, mental illness, code enforcement issues on that corridor. On that street specifically. I really want to thank staff. I think we approached the manager, and I say we, County Commissioner Velma Leak and I, our management team, back in early summer about some of the issues that we were experiencing on Catherine Simmons. Deronda Mapp, the Executive Director of the Friendship Missionary Baptist Church, CDC, and others, we're really concerned about some of the activities on that particular street. The mayor certainly was concerned about that as well. And we formed a inter-collaboration team between the city and the county to address a wide variety of issues. On that team was represented by CMPD, code enforcement, housing, and a number of other city and county agencies trying to be assertive on our policing and our outreach efforts, not aggressive, but assertive to try to solve some of the problems. 2 weeks ago, Mecklenburg County commissioners under the leadership of Velma Leak established a unsheltered response plan for street outreach partners and a wide variety of mental health services, substance abuse services on the corridor, specifically addressing Catherine Simmons. CMPD has been very active on the corridor within the last 6 or 7 weeks. I can't be very specific, but they are doing their job on the corridor in terms of identifying hotspots, identifying trouble homes, identifying those who are selling drugs on the corridor, and they have been very responsive in terms of their response. And in addition, the purchase of these homes are about trying to change the narrative on that street in terms of addressing absentee landowners, those who are not taking care of their property, and for the city to provide an opportunity to provide some of those homes into affordable housing. So this is a strategy that's undertaking between the city and the county, and I've been one who's been very vocal about collaboration between the city and the county, and the manager, both managers, Manager Bryan and Manager Jones, have exceeded my expectations in reference to their partnership and pitting out with me as well as Commissioner Leak, more so Commissioner Leak than me in terms of pushing the ball forward. So this is the beginning, not the end for certain. I think there will be a lot more that both Commissioner Leak and I will be talking about publicly about this initiative, but this is extremely important. I would be remiss if I don't thank Shine and the staff. Mayor Pro Tem Mitchell has been at those meetings with me as well and leaned in when appropriate to ensure that we have the type of cohesive approach necessary for those individuals on the corridor. And so I've always said that we need to make sure that people are part of the change and not victims of it. And change is needed on Beatties Ford Road for certain. Change is needed on Catherine Simmons. And I think this approach that we're taking, being very proactive and identifying a holistic collaboration of government, both city and county, is a step in the right direction. And I hope the council members will improve this line item. Thank you.
All right, any other comments? Ms. Johnson?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I will be supporting, obviously, but I have a question about this. I had the pleasure of being over on Catherine Simmons not too long ago when the new condos were built, those affordable housing. They're like going to be $1,100 mortgage with the down payment assistance, so that was exciting. But I know you've mentioned several times a nuisance property off Beatties Ford. I don't know how close this is. Are we able to have any progress with that or attack that problem along with this initiative?
Yeah, I had a meeting with our new city attorney, and we talked about being very assertive in terms of nuisance properties, very assertive in making sure that convenience stores are applying with all the ABC licensing and requirements, selling of beer and wine and those type of things. We know where the problems are, and we're being very assertive, not aggressive, but very assertive in ensuring that we protect the quality of life for those in the area. And so, yes, we are contacting landlords who live somewhere else and rent property in our community, and I think they need to hear from our city attorney, and if it takes 3 years to get to where we need to go, the journey of 1,000 miles starts with the first step, right? And so we're being very proactive and assertive. I keep using that word. We simply can't sit back and wait for something to happen. Same thing with cats, right, and the bus shelters, right? City manager and the CATS director, we're going to be removing a bus shelter there and enhancing others, right? I mean, bus shelters where people should be catching the bus. It's not where people should be using the restroom, right, or sleeping or making it inconvenient for other bus riders to use. And so I just want the community to know that things are happening. And I think at some point, Commissioner Leak and I will be talking directly to the community ourselves, and sharing what we're doing and the results that we're getting. And we are getting positive results based on what you just suggested, identifying where the problems are and trying to fix them.
Thank you.
All right. Mr. Jones?
So, Mayor, members of council, thank you. Typically, I don't jump in, but I will this time. I think it's important to know that this is a strategy. We've talked a lot about Uptown, and then many people said, well, what about the rest of the city? And so it was, the partnership with the county has just been amazing. We did have Beatties Ford Road next, but simultaneously there are things that are going on, whether it's I-85 in Sugar Creek or West Boulevard. But the concept is it's not one size fits all, but let's go back and double down in these communities where we can have an opportunity to positively impact the quality of life. So we continue to work. And so I think what we may have to do, team, is talk a little bit to council and maybe a memo about some of the initial things that are happening in other areas. Because as we talked about Uptown, I worried that this body would say, what about other places in the community? But the city and the county are collaborating on other places in the community, so thank you.
And if I can add one more comment, one of the things that I believe that we're doing correctly is making district issues city priorities, right? So if it can work in District 2, it can work in 3, it can work in 4, it can work in some of these other quarters where we are experiencing the same problems, right? And so it's just making sure that there's a holistic government approach. You know, again, we get too much credit for when things go right. The folks over there are working really, really hard, collaborating with their county teammates to ensure that we get it right. And I acknowledge that participation and cooperation. I thank you for doing it.
All right, any further comments? Hearing none, all in favor? I believe Ms. Watlington is unanimous. Thank you so much. I think all of us know how important it is for us to be a part of this kind of restoration for our people and the people that are in the city. So thank you very much. I think the staff really appreciate all of this. So our next idea, or the next thing that we'll do is to ask the city manager if he has any updates for council this evening.
So thank you, Mayor, members of council. Just one update. So team, the only thing I'm going to do is the annual strategy meeting, okay? So just wanted to give you an update. I appreciate Mayor Pro Tem Mitchell and what he did last week. My understanding, he reached out to all of the council members to get your feel for where we would go with our annual strategy meeting. My understanding is that all of you were fine with returning to the Restoration Hotel in Asheville. My understanding also is some of the feedback, it's one of the better places that we've been, and you do realize or remember how important it was for us to support our neighbors in western North Carolina. So what will happen over the course of the next week is your constituent services staff will help with all the logistics, but maybe what's most important is we'll send out a short survey to see what's important to you. 2 big questions, you know, what are the most important topics to discuss during the annual strategy meeting? And number 2, is there anything else that you may want to share? So a short survey, we'll get that back, I believe, by the end of the year, December 31st. Some of the things we are thinking about because of all of the discussions we've had over the course of the last year has been, you know, quality of life, public safety, mobility. But mobility, now that the 1 cent sales tax is passed, we need to talk about project selection, workforce development, small business scaling up, and absolutely positively anti-displacement efforts. And of course, we'll talk about the FY27 budget. We may talk a little bit about the FY28 budget too. But those are just some of the things we're thinking about. But again, short survey, we really want to start this off in a very collaborative and comprehensive way. I didn't say the dates. It's Monday, January 26th, Tuesday, January 27th, 2 full days. So much like last time, traveling that Sunday, it would definitely be an option so that we can start the Monday morning bright and early. So that's all we have now. So thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Mitchell, for getting the ball rolling. And that's all I have for my report.
All right, Ms. Mayfield.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Manager Jones, historically, we have a number of actual council members that plan the retreat and that help to guide and identify what the topics of interest are and/or things that we need to follow up on from the previous year. Are you suggesting that instead of having council members that identify our retreat topics, we're just going to have a survey?
No, not at all, Councilmember Mayfield. Because we've done a bunch of these, a few things that we've learned is that we need your feedback early on, and we consider this to be early on. There have been a number of ways to have it. It could be referred to a committee. It could be an ad hoc committee. I believe that's the will of the body. I think one of the things that I'll tell you up front, some of the feedback that we've gotten is spend more time with council being able to address some of the tough issues. And I've heard things like not too many stickies on the wall and things like that, okay? So I've learned over the years, the staff saying less and the council interacting more allows for a better annual strategy meeting. So all we're trying to do, we're in a little strange place because we're new council members. This is their first meeting, and the committee structure isn't up yet, so we just didn't want to wait too much longer to at least get some feedback from you. That's it.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. All right, so as we move, that's all of your report. And so let's go to the next business item, which is item number 8, addition of a representative from Gaston County to the Charlotte Water Advisory Committee. For this item, is there a motion to approve the addition of one representative from Gaston County to the existing Charlotte Water Advisory
Move for
Committee?
approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing no discussion. Oh, I mean, Ms. Mayfield.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Ms. Charles, I believe you will be able to answer a question for me that I sent over earlier. And that, as you're making your way up, that is to share why we're extending opportunity for representation for Gaston County, because I think that is information based on a 20-year-plus project that it would be helpful for all, including the community, to know.
Sure. Thank you for the question. Good evening, Mayor, Council. Angela Charles, Director of Charlotte Water. The reason why we want to add someone from Gaston County is that this would be a strategic move in that Charlotte Water is the sole provider of wastewater services for the city of Mount Holly and soon to be the city of Belmont. The folks in Gaston County don't have any representation, communication, we're here to try to, or the request is to try to really facilitate two-way communication between Charlotte Water and the residents.
And for clarification, this is also, and correct me if I'm wrong, the continuation of that 20-plus year discussion where we now provide water to our partners to make sure that they also have a voice.
Absolutely. So the Stowe project is the result of about 20-plus years of planning that started. The first conversation started in the 1980s. And so in that, there would be a partnership between Charlotte Water, City of Charlotte, the City of Belmont, and the City of Mount Holly for wastewater services. Along the way, EPA came in and developed a what we're going to call TMDL, Total Maximum Daily Limit for nitrogen and phosphorus, which meant that we needed their allocation. I don't want to get too technical to build the plant, but we needed—
I think you've already surpassed that idea.
Yeah, we needed partnerships with those two entities to build a facility to accommodate the growth on the Mecklenburg County side. And so in doing that, Mount Holly has decommissioned their wastewater treatment plant. Right now, we are providing services to them, and at the end of the day, we will have a cleaner and better Catawba River for our region.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Hope I didn't get too technical for you, but I understand there's some science behind what we're doing here.
Ms. Anderson?
Thank you, Ms. Charles, for being here. And what I wanted to say is, well, we approved a lot of Charlotte Water things today on our consent agenda, so the investment in what you're doing. It really is a regional play.
It
And
is.
I've been speaking to a couple of residents, and they're asking me why certain services they pay for that's covered by Charlotte and why other services they don't receive because they live out in the ETJ and other areas, unincorporated areas. I think it would be really a good move for you to maybe leverage our Gov channel to start to educate residents on how your your organization is really and truly a regional
We are.
organization, and maybe break that down for residents, because we have a mix, and folks really don't know what they're paying for with their
Right.
taxes and what they're not receiving. So I think I've had at least 3 conversations where residents have asked me that, so I think it'd be a great move for you to leverage.
That is a wonderful suggestion, because I'm not quite sure everybody understands that we are a regional utility. We serve over 1.2 million people, and it's everybody. It's this county and beyond. And what you have before you is an example of that. What's different here is that we have connections to different counties. We aren't the sole providers, except in this case, we are. So the growth in that town will depend on capacity that they get from the Charlotte Water entity. And so it is we believe, a good strategic move to at least have a resident as a part of the citizen advisory group. And we're getting that conversation, and we have that advocacy in Gaston County. So that's what we're doing. And that's the request.
All right, I'm going to have Councilmember Johnson and then follow the city manager.
Okay.
Ms. Johnson?
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and thank you, Ms. Charles. My question is probably the obvious question. Does Gaston County, does a portion of their taxes support this project, or?
The services that Mount Holly and Belmont receive, they will be charged for those. So it's not taxes.
Okay.
But a treatment, they will be paying a treatment rate.
Okay.
Because we will be
bill.
treating.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. Okay, thank you.
So thank you.
City manager?
Thank you, Mayor, members of the council. So, Ms. Charles, to put it in perspective, it's the X-largest system in the country.
13th.
Wow. 13 largest, wow.
I think regional is the new word right now.
It's a regional utility.
Yeah, for so many things, so. All right, is there any further conversation or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion? Please raise your hand. Everyone's okay? All right, Ms. Johnson, did you have your hand
I
up?
raised my
Okay,
hand.
thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, so that we have a really big and important one. For item 9, is there a motion to approve the 2026 City Council regular and budget meeting schedule?
So move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Ms. Asmira?
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor. So I was reviewing the proposed schedule, and I noticed that for second Mondays where we have business meeting, we do not have public forum except for the 4th Mondays of the month. Is that correct? So currently, we have public forum on 2nd and 4th Mondays of the month. So are we going from, sorry, I see Mr. Jones is nodding his head.
So,
Yes, go ahead, Mr.
okay,
Jones.
so, thank you, Mayor, and I'm prayerful that Marie is somewhere still in the building. Okay, no, okay, thank you, the clerk's with there, okay. All right, so, some of the philosophy behind the calendar, to answer your question directly, there's only one public forum a month, and it's typically the 4th Monday. It wouldn't be the 4th Monday if, by some reason, the 4th Monday meeting was canceled. So I believe by state statute, we need to have a public forum at least once a month. And so that's been consistent for a while. And what you have on the 2nd Monday is what we've called the action briefing. And the whole concept there is, and I'll say many council members have said this to me, no surprises. So what that would be used for, and we would start at 5 o'clock in 267, or anything that came out of committee meetings the previous month, or anything that may be discussed the 4th Monday of the month, so that we would spend that first 90 minutes on the 2nd Monday in 267 to talk about anything that may have come out of committee or anything that may be coming up that 4th Monday. You have a zoning meeting, you get to the 4th Monday, you would come right to the chamber like today, 5:30, and many of the things that were discussed at that action briefing on the second Monday could be voted on that night, and you would have the public forum as well as council comments.
So to follow up on that, Mr. Jones, it's good that we are prioritizing what's going to be discussed for that month during second Mondays of the month, during action briefing. I think that's great. So currently, today is second Monday of the month, and we had a public forum. So for this year and the previous years, we had public forums on second and fourth Mondays of the month. So it's always been just,
The only reason
so
that you,
today we had a public forum,
because you don't have a fourth
Monday of the month.
and you need to have
Yep.
one public forum each month.
So that's why when I look at the proposed meeting schedule, I see that we have exceptions in January, March, and December, because the fourth Monday, we cannot accommodate a public forum.
Correct.
Ms. Watlington?
Yep, I got a few questions. The first one is just that I noticed here that the ICMA conference is here, but I don't know that anyone around the dais, save for maybe the manager, goes to that from a council perspective. I think the conference that would be more relevant to this schedule is the NLC City Summit that occurs during that time. So I just wanted to note that. It's the city manager and county manager annual conference. But as mentioned, that's really not necessarily a council item. So wanted to propose that we make that adjustment on the calendar.
I'm sorry. Councilmember Wallington, it's just out there, no meeting is being canceled because of that.
I'm aware, it's fine.
I just wanted it off the calendar.
Yeah, well, I'm saying the more relevant date, I think, for the audience for this particular schedule is the city summit. Because that's the one that these members would actually be attending. Because I see that NLC is up here for the City Vision Conference, and then you've got the mayor's annual meeting. So then the other main conference that is significant, at least as it relates to members of this body. So I'd offer that as a amendment in terms of this adoption. And then the other item that I see here that I've got questions, I really want to hear feedback from the group in regards to, is that I noticed that the appointed offices, our direct reports evaluations are in October and November. And given the history of delay on these items, I'm not comfortable with them falling that late in the calendar year. And I also don't see a mid-year review. We've talked a few times about doing a check-in for that. So I'd like to understand what the appetite is for making adjustments to those things, more consistent with some of the discussions we've had in the past.
All right, Ms. Mayfield?
So just for clarification, does that, for the discussion of the mid-year review, does that need to be in the form of a motion for us to make an adjustment, or do you have a time to recommend? Because I completely support us doing that, because we have talked about it for a number of years, and we need to actually put it into the calendar. Do you have a recommendation of a time period, Dr. Wallington, for the mid-year?
I think it'll depend, and that's kind of why I wanted to hear a little bit about if people had preferences. I know we don't meet in July, but we also have our fiscal year is July to June, so.
Well, we
perhaps
always end up meeting. We always end up meeting in July.
We do. So we could follow along there and do a mid-year maybe in November, December, and then do the final right before the
Fiscal year ends.
the fiscal year ends. That's just a suggestion, but I'm open to what folks.
That's what
Unless there's another suggestion, I support that.
It's not on here.
Yes, Ms.
Yeah,
Ashmore.
so, thank you, Madam Mayor. I know that BGIR committee worked on a schedule for evaluations
Okay.
of our 3 employees, where we had said we will do a year-end evaluation in July to August timeframe, and we'll do a mid-year in November, December timeframe. So I don't see that being reflected. It's what we had approved as a full council, so I think that needs to be reflected. But I would let the manager speak on that in terms of if my understanding is correct of what was adopted.
Yeah, I do believe that a few years ago, the concept was to have a check-in at the annual strategy meeting and an evaluation over the summer.
Right.
So that would be the 6 months, would be
Right.
the check-in at the annual strategy meeting with an evaluation in the summer, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If we continue that, is that sufficient for this council for the review?
So, Madam Manager Jones, for clarification, it would be difficult for the check-in to be during the strategy session because we only have 2 days, which is something that I had mentioned prior to the last few years. Councilman Mitchell, what do we have, 3 days? It was like 3.5 days. Cutting it down to 2 days makes it more efficient for people to not be away from work at home, but trying to add that piece in when we're going to have 2 days to really try to hash out and focus our priorities for the upcoming session and beyond would be very difficult. I was under the impression, and maybe I'm remembering it incorrectly, I was under the impression that that check-in is a separate entity because we need to have the time to make sure that we're having the discussion with you as a council, but also give the time for us to actually, in writing, present to you what our expectations or what we're looking for, to give time to make sure if we identify 5 objectives, how many of those did you hit prior to your review time so that we can get this on schedule and keep it on schedule. So I didn't remember that this was a conversation where we would try to have it during the strategy session when we only have 2 days, and those 2 days really need to be focused on our priorities moving forward.
Ms. Sanderson?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I do remember, Ms. Ajmira, us having that conversation and the vote in your committee. But as Ms. Mayfield just said, we're shrinking the strategy session from 3 days down to 2. And honestly, at the strategy session, everything starts to get expedited and sped up because people are wanting to leave. And so last year that occurred where we were supposed to have these check-ins. And I might offer that we have the check-in, the mid-year check-in, when we come back from the holidays. So maybe the second week in January or the third week prior to the strategy session. And I thought that the mid-year was really a conversational check-in rather than a hard document with a review.
Right.
It was more of a conversational check-in. Do you have everything you need? What else can we help you with, et cetera? So I would offer that up as a potential solution. That way, at the strategy session, we can purely focus on what we need to focus on.
Madam Mayor,
Lincoln?
for the purpose of today's meeting, then I would just move to defer this schedule to line those details out and bring it back before the end of this calendar year.
Okay.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. It's a deferral, and it will come back on the next agenda. All those in favor? Anyone opposed? Okay, there we are. Okay, so we have a closed, well, wait a minute, let me get to this one. We do have a closed session tonight, so can I have a motion to adjourn from the clerk? from the attorney?
We have council manager
Oh,
topics.
council, oh, that's right, we're going to do council topics tonight. Where would you like to start? Ms. Johnson? Feel free.
Yeah, I'm just wishing everyone a happy holidays and looking forward to working with the new council.
Well, thank you.
Just happy holidays. It is a pleasure and an honor to sit alongside all of you as this new council begins. Congratulations again, Mayor Pro Tem. And thank you, Mayor, for everything you're doing and all my council members. I look forward to representing East Charlotte well and to working alongside everyone to address public safety, affordable housing, as well as economic development. And as I was speaking to Councilmember Graham earlier and Mr. Jones, Manager Jones, making sure that Eastland Yards is, getting the premium gas quality as Councilmember Graham has stated before.
He's learning already.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I would also like to wish all of those out there happy holidays. Keep in mind, we are still working. We will be responding to emails. We'll get a little break during this time, but the work of the city does not end. I am looking forward to seeing what we're able to accomplish in this upcoming term, but I also want to make sure that the community knows that this council does have a priority on public safety. We all live in this community. All of us have families, whether they're children or elders in our community that want to take advantage of all the amenities that our city has. It would be very helpful if community also reaches out to our North Carolina General Assembly in order to help guide them to support our courts, to support the funding needed with the Sheriff's Department and through Mecklenburg County to help fund our health and human services for those who need additional services that have not been able to access them, knowing that our CMPD, as we continue to grow it, is doing a wonderful job, but their job stops at that arrest. And then it is another body that takes control, and that is through the magistrates and the court system. And it is our General Assembly that has yet to pass a budget that can help fund those resources that we need. So keep us in prayer, keep us accountable, but understand that we need help. Thank you.
Mr. Graham?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I just want to give a special shout out to the Charlotte Sports Commission. They had a tremendous 3 days over last week, starting with the Charlotte Invitational Tennis Tournament that was held at Spectrum Arena. Over 13,000 folks were in attendance. And then 2 days later, they turned around and produced the ACC Championship in Uptown Charlotte. Economic impact for those who work in the service industries, Uber drivers, busboys, waitresses, hotels. The economic impact for sports and entertainment in Charlotte is really, really significant. And the way they executed last week on both of those events, keeping public safety in mind as they did it, was really, really tremendous. And again, I can't say much to Will Pitts, the new executive director over there, for the job that he's done. And again, thanks for the council members who attended the tournament as well. I thought it went extremely well, and I got a chance to play with some of the pros and hit some balls with them. And then lastly, and probably more importantly, I mean, there were a lot of international eyes on the city of Charlotte. The event was televised internationally through the Tennis Channel. A lot of tennis enthusiasts from across the world were in Charlotte last week watching what we were doing, and using a baseball analogy for a tennis tournament. If we build it, they will come. Thank you.
Kimberly?
Thank you, Mayor. I wanted to just lift up something that I had the great experience of doing on Friday night. I did a ride-along on the third shift Eastway Division police force, and came away just terrifically impressed with our CMPD. Very appreciative of the community engagement that I saw out of these officers. And I will remark, obviously, you can't, predict what will happen, but they had just taken into custody the gentleman who had stabbed someone on the light rail, and were interrogating him in an adjacent room. And the professionalism that these folks showed in the moment was just really powerful, because I appreciate, as this community and this council appreciates, that there's a heightened focus, and that we've already had additional national and state level interest in what happens on our light rail, and I think that is not taken lightly. I will encourage anyone who does have strong feelings, anybody who has got a lot of social media presence and feels the need to comment repeatedly on the state of crime in Charlotte, that they do take a look at this ride-along process. Obviously, not everyone can do it. I think you need to meet some background check requirements, but it is a process that does enable you to spend a portion of time with our police officers. Probably during the 10-hour shift, I will say the most impactful thing that I experienced was just some real conversation with humans who are just trying to do that next right thing for our city. and some conversation about the importance of them feeling community support for the work that they are doing, the importance of perhaps reaching out to some of our DAs and some of our sheriff's office folks who can perhaps tweak some of the ways that they interact with the police to save them sometimes sitting around and waiting, just some things that I think are soft things that we can do that I'd love to work with folks to make a little bit easier on our police. And then finally, I'll just call out particularly two different officers who had the great patience to sit with me for 10 hours and answer questions. And I'm going to call out Officers Grant and Griffiths, both of whom were about my children's ages and got to, like I said, experience so many questions from me about the good work that they're doing. So I would commend this opportunity to any of you who have an interest, but again, to our community, I would just ask that you lean in and know your resources, and you may well come away with a very different sense of the safety of our great city, having experienced it at the hands of our third shift police officers. So thank you.
Ms. Anderson?
We're going to. Thank you, Madam Mayor. And first of all, I just want to say, I think we have a birthday here at the dais, do we? Happy birthday to our one of our newest council members, Ms. Owens, and to the three of you, our newest council members, welcome. I also did a ride-along, and it's with CMPD, and it's quite impactful. I did it several years ago. So if you haven't done that, that will, you'll discover a lot of the hurdles that our officers, our brave officers, deal with on a daily basis. There's two things I want to talk about, though. One is, you know, our new chief and other law enforcement entities across the state announced their our Operation Safe Season just a couple of days ago, right here in this room. A couple council members were here, and it's a really great way to leverage law enforcement officers horizontally without having to have a strong increase in budget. Their focus will be uptown initially, but that's an enclosed learning process that they will take their learnings and best practices and then expand it out. And so you will see a different presence uptown across the board in all 4 wards. And I think it's really important, and I've gotten some feedback from community members that they feel really good about that. Having said that, though, with the issues that just occurred on the light rail, yet again, we are understanding that public safety is critically important, and it does not simply equal law enforcement officers. We welcome the collaboration. That will help, but that's not going to get us across the finish line. We need a plan, a strong plan that emphasizes a variety of different key areas, including mental health and how we can leverage mental health services with other agencies across the state and the region. And so I hope that as we move forward next year, that we will have a crystallized plan on how we can work intergovernmentally and across other agencies to have a multi-pronged approach to public safety. And as we continue to be in the national eye yet again with these issues, and then also, you know, with the surge that occurred, you know, there's all eyes on Charlotte, and it's an opportunity for Charlotte to really step up and demonstrate not only to the region and the state, but the entire country that we're a world-class city. So I put that charge out for us as we walk into the new year. And happy holidays to everyone that celebrates a holiday or a religious faith in the city. Thank you.
Joy?
Yes, thank you. So happy holidays as well. I will definitely also agree with that sentiment. Many District 3 residents have attended a meeting today, this afternoon, about the 77 South expansion. So glad that I was able to bring additional comments and concerns so that residents could talk directly with the consultants and various engineers to understand how the different options, particularly for map 2, 3, and 8, could impact residents. So I do recommend, if anyone has not already put that input in, for NCDOT, that they do that as soon as possible, so that it is on record, your opposition or your approval of which map and why. I think that is imperative, that we're thinking through how do different options impact legacy residents and future residents. So hoping everyone is taking the time to really look through those maps and think through how do we ensure that all Charlotteans are part of this progress that we're seeing.
Victoria?
Thank you. A couple of things. Firstly, also happy holidays. Hope you all are planning some great festivities with you and your loved ones as we look to the end of the year. A couple of things that I was reminded of just listening around the dais. Number one, you may have, if you are signed up for the neighborhood organization list, received an email from the city regarding the next steps with the community area plans upcoming. We did approve half of the plans, and we've got more work to do on the other. So this is your opportunity. If you're a resident that wanted to weigh in, there's going to be opportunity to do that. So just wanted to lift that up. Check your emails if you haven't already, just to see how you can follow along for next steps as we look forward to Q1 for that work. And then secondly, as we were discussing safety, I wanted to actually ask, as it relates to the work that we began in the Housing Safety and Community Committee this year with the strategic intercept model, as we were looking at how we interface directly with our intergovernmental partners, we had launched the work not only for what we were doing within the city, but with the idea that our partners at the county and the state would also be participating. So I wanted to lift that back up because I don't want it to be lost in the sauce. Because one of the follow-ups from that was actually that we were going to have some sort of joint strategy session. And as we talk about our strategic planning, I didn't see it on the calendar as listed as something that was specifically joint, but that was the opportunity that we were looking to really get more granular on what we were going to do in terms of a safety response, particularly how we better support and advocate for the proper mental health services at the state and federal levels. So wanted to definitely make sure that as we plan for our strategy retreat, that work is continued. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Thank you, Councilmember Watlington, for bringing that intergovernmental work. At our last BGIR meeting, Sean Heath and the team presented all the recommendations that were gathered from our partners, whether that's DA's office, the county, nonprofit partners, as well as our judicial system in terms of what we need to help us be successful in addressing crime in our communities. I know the plan is to present that at our retreat because as we are discussing our state and federal legislative agenda, we want to make sure we have specific slide just on public safety with specific ask from our state legislatures. So some of the items that's part of our agenda, for an example, is requesting more resources for our DA's office, because even with additional positions that were included as part of ARENA's law, it still puts us at 65 to 70% capacity, not where we should be at 100% capacity. So we do need to discuss this, and really, at some point, the mayor had suggested us writing a letter, and I think that's a great idea with specific ask on public safety, because I don't see this as a partisan issue, because we all want a safe city. So thank you for bringing that up. You will see that as part of our ask at the retreat. Also, Councilmember Mayo brought up I-77 expansion. Mr. Manager, if you could provide us a memo on what ability we have at the local level to influence the decision through carpool. I've heard reports that through carpool we could influence how that project is expanded. So we want to make sure that we are addressing communities' needs while addressing infrastructure needs, but we want to ensure that we don't make the mistakes or repeat the mistakes of the past. So if you could provide a memo on that as to what are the alternatives that we are exploring through carpool, that would be great. Councilmember Owens brought up ride-along. I've done that. It was probably one of the first ones that I did when I was representing District 5 in East Charlotte, and it's certainly impactful, but it really it makes you think how officers are put in situations to think within split seconds and make some of the very impactful decisions. It's a great way to really see what officers go through every single day to keep our community safe. I certainly agree. For those who have not done a ride-along, I highly recommend it. You come out with a whole new perspective and respect for our officers. I do want to highlight one item. As we are talking about public safety, I just want to acknowledge the seriousness of another stabbing incident on our light rail. Certainly, I've heard from a number of residents who use our light rail they depend on our light rail to get to work. It is concerning. There are a number of questions that I have. I know that Mayor mentioned in her remarks earlier that we will have an update on the steps that we are taking. So if you could include a couple of bullet points. First, I just want to understand security presence. This incident happened during the rush hour of 4:49 p.m., where generally employees get off and ride public transit. So I would like to understand whether we had a CMPD officer or security guard on the light rail when this incident happened. I know there have been significant investment that the council has made to increase security on light rail, as well as fair enforcement. I would like to understand, do we know at this time whether the suspect had a valid ticket to ride this? Also, I'm hearing reports that the suspect may have been previously banned from using cats. So if you can help us clarify if that is accurate, and if the suspect was indeed previously banned, why was he allowed back on the system? And how are we enforcing those bans? And I look forward to having an update on those specific questions. And, you know, I just, we have seen our ridership. You know, there are people that do not feel safe, especially students who ride our public transportation system who does not have an alternative. So we need to do everything that we can to restore the confidence in our system. So if you could provide an update on that, that would be great.
Okay.
And lastly, I just want to wish you all a happy holidays. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so the Mayor Pro Tem.
Can we start at one time? We wish you a Merry Christmas. Y'all ready?
Oh, no.
Okay, we're not going to do that today.
I'm ready for
Not today, okay. So citizens will be rehearsing. More to come. First of all, let me agree with all my colleagues to say that be safe this holiday and spend time with family and friends, and rejoice and pray for a successful 2026. I think this council have done a lot of work in 2025, and more to come. On a personal note, if I may, Mayor and Council, December 9th, tomorrow, the third African-American female went into space. She spent 13 days at the space station to repair the robotic arm. I want to congratulate her. This celebrates her 19th year. Joan Elizabeth Higginbotham, better known as my queen. So happy anniversary, and ready to go to closed session, ma'am?
Oh, no, just a minute. I want to do this. James and I had an opportunity to be at the Sarah Stevens Tuesday morning program, And in that, there was a list, I believe Kimberly, you were there as well.
And
Malcolm. And at the end of that, I was given a 4 or 5 page list of concerns with various communities that you've mostly spoken about. And so I want to make sure that as we're doing this work, that we really understand that our people are smart, they know what they want, they know that we can do it. And I think that what I've asked the manager to do is to take those, I think it's 4 pages, and look at it and see how it fits in for our retreat, and what does it mean when people come to us and say, we have a plan for what we ought to do, and we put this plan in motion, or explain why it's not in motion. I think that, again, people are really engaged, and I think through that process, it will be helpful. It's like, I think, as you say, the community programs that we have and lists, I think that people want to understand what they mean for us, for them, well done. But I would hope that we'd be able to put some of that together before we come back from the retreat. And then the other thing I would say is, I'm going to take a few days off. James Mitchell is going to have such fun.
Oh, wow.
Because I'm going to go visit my grandchildren for their holiday. It's a great opportunity to have. I know several of us have grandchildren, and we love them greatly. 2 and 3, well, Bishop as well. And I think that I wish everyone to take a time to enjoy their families, to understand how important you are to our city and the work that we can do and start fresh ahead. So with that, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
So moved. Second.
Motion and a second, and all in favor? Closed session. Go to the closed, I wasn't forgetting that. I was just closing the book for the adjournment. Now let's go to the closed session. Hopefully it won't be too long.
Motion to go to closed session.
All right, we need a motion from the city attorney.
So the motion, Mayor, the motion is to go into closed session pursuant to NCGS 143-318.11A3 to consult with the city attorney to preserve the attorney-client privilege in the matter of Brenda J. Brothers joint venture versus City of Charlotte, Mecklenburg County Superior Court Civil Action Number 25CV 032-102-590.
So moved. We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please raise your hands. All right, thank you, everyone.